This is the luxury world. Get inspired with us today and tomorrow. It is quite surprising that December has arrived so quickly. We have witnessed another year pass by, observing intriguing watch launches and market changes. Notable moments include Rolex's unexpected decision at Watches and Wonders and the interesting contrast between increasing retail prices and declining secondary prices. The year 2023 witnessed a roller coaster ride, with sky-high prices, insatiable hype, and then a whisper of change. In today's video brought to you by the Luxury World, we will unravel the mysteries of watch market predictions for 2024. So, grab your favorite timepiece, set your mental chronometers, and get ready. If you have not subscribed to our channel yet, we highly recommend doing so now to stay informed about our future video releases. We will explore 5 predictions of how watches, brands, and the industry will evolve, so let us dive in. Rolex supply increases. If you have watched our previous videos, we assume you are aware of the scarcity of Rolex watches when purchasing from an authorized dealer. What initially began with specific models like the Rolex Daytona has now expanded to encompass every stainless steel reference and even some made from precious metals. Rolex has been a leader in the surge in demand. It is often the first choice for individuals entering the realm of luxury watches for the first time. Rolex watches are truly exceptional, featuring timeless designs, exceptional build quality, and a satisfying feel on the wrist. Moreover, Rolex manages to convey a genuine sense of luxury, beyond the in-store experience, and the sought-after brand recognition that many desire. In the broader context, watches have increasingly become recognized as symbols of social status, attracting more consumers than ever. This strong interest in Rolex alone has significantly driven overall market growth and price fluctuations. Currently, there exists a disparity between the supply and demand for Rolex watches. Despite the brand producing around 1 million timepieces annually, Rolex faces challenges in this regard, but it is cognizant of the market dynamics and has implemented measures to address them moving forward. Firstly, the acquisition of Booker has granted them complete control over the authorized dealer network within the group. Secondly, there is an effort to increase production capacity. With improvements in supply and the previously mentioned cooling demand affecting prices, it is anticipated that in 2024, more individuals will have the opportunity to acquire a Rolex through an authorized dealer. This potential development is promising news for those currently in the market for a Rolex, but that is not all. As the accessibility of Rolex watches increases, we anticipate a positive impact on the overall competition. With wider availability, the sense of exclusivity diminishes, reducing the pressure to make impulsive purchases, such as opting for a Datejust or a two-tone GMT when your initial goal was to acquire a Batman GMT. Simultaneously, the allure of Rolex may not be as strong, leading people to explore alternative options. Perhaps choosing a blank pane 50 Fathoms or a Zenith Chronomaster becomes more appealing. Regardless, we believe this shift can only bring positive outcomes for both Rolex and the industry. Lower prices. In recent years, we have witnessed one of the most significant price adjustments ever seen in the industry. The astonishing fact that watch retail prices have surged by 40% to 60% within a few years is notable. The secondary market tells a different story, with certain highly sought-after models trading at multiples over their retail prices. However, simultaneously, there has been an economic shift. Inflation and interest rates have climbed to remarkably prominent levels. Equity markets have experienced declines, the crypto bubble has burst, and borrowing money has become less appealing. All these factors have resulted in reduced disposable income for many individuals, and this economic shift is reflected in the subdued demand reported by major luxury conglomerates. Currently, we find ourselves in a scenario where brands have significantly raised prices despite a decline in demand. The impact of this will vary across brands, and we anticipate minimal challenges for Rolex and Patek Philippe. However, when examining the substantial shift in the price range by JLC and the proximity of Omega to the perceived value ceiling for watches like the Speedmaster, it suggests that the entire industry may need to reassess its approach. Numerous instances exist where watches have experienced substantial price hikes, and now that consumers must be more discerning, it prompts the question of whether certain watches justify their asking prices. The trend is already noticeable in the secondary market, with reduced premiums on sought-after watches and discounts emerging for others. Inevitably, brands will be adversely impacted by this change in demand and will need to respond accordingly. We have reached a turning point, and the retail market will become less robust, aligning with the trends already observed on the secondary side. More color. We believe that this trend is likely to endure, with the possibility of even more color options emerging in 2024. The broadening use of color in watches has roots in several factors. Firstly, the adoption of color is influenced by fashion, and the popularity of specific colors undergoes distinct waves. For instance, the preference for white dials during periods when dress watches and pocket watches were coveted, or the popularity of gold dials in the 1980s. Over the past 5 years or more, there has been a significant surge in the interest in watches. Simultaneously, society has become more casual in terms of dress both within and outside the workplace. This shift has resulted in a situation where more individuals view watches as accessories, seeking ways to express themselves, especially in less formal settings. Black dials undeniably remain the preferred choice for many brands, given their versatility. White dials, once highly popular, have waned in popularity since the 1990s. In their place, there has been a surge in the appeal of colors like blue and green, a trend that continues. What sets the last few years apart is the willingness of brands to take more risks and make bolder decisions. The growing demand for such watches has prompted brands to respond with creative and intriguing offerings, catering to diverse tastes in the market. Collaborations. Our subsequent forecast is linked to the increasing use of color and pertains primarily to dial design. Collaborations have gained momentum, and we foresee this trend expanding further in 2024. When we refer to collaborations, it encompasses a range of partnerships and brands lending their names to limited editions and ventures like the Marvel watches crafted by Audemars Piguet. Several factors suggest that this trend is poised for growth. Initially, through collaborations, brands can connect with an entirely new segment of consumers. Through such partnerships, not only do these consumers become acquainted with the watch brand, but it could also result in increased sales of watches that might not have otherwise occurred. While the Audemars Piguet example is exceptional due to its high price, other instances are emerging, such as the Oris Pro Pilot Times Kermit Edition. Additionally, these collaborations serve as a compelling reason to introduce new limited editions. By creating a limited quantity tied to a recognizable cultural reference, a brand can expect robust sales, providing a certain level of revenue assurance. Moreover, these collaborations can serve as timely marketing efforts, aligning with current trends and events in pop culture. Patina fades. The trend of excessively vintage-inspired watches is expected to diminish, resulting in a decline in the use of patina moving forward. Coined around 2012, patina refers to designing a dial to appear aged right from the start. This effect is typically achieved using off-white lume and has become prevalent across various brands, including major names like Tudor and Omega. Distressed dials and other intricate details contribute to the overall vintage look. Undoubtedly, the past decade has witnessed a shift in consumer preferences toward more vintage-inspired timepieces, coinciding with a general increase in interest in vintage watches and a demand for smaller case designs. As the digital era advances, vintage watches evoke a sense of nostalgia that resonates with many. Recognizing this shift, several brands opted to offer watches with a vintage aesthetic sought by many, combining them with modern technology. This approach allows more individuals to enjoy the captivating designs of the past without the concerns associated with the maintenance and purchasing of true vintage watches. There are small signs that the watch market is at a turning point, whether it be through design or pricing structure. 2023 has been an interesting year that has seen watches beyond expectations being launched, but at the same time, some indications that 2024 might bring a slightly different environment. What are your thoughts on the watch market prediction that we shared in this video? We would like to see your answers and opinions in the comments section. If you liked this video, let us know that too in the comments section below. Remember to follow us too and give us a thumbs up. Once again, this is the Luxury World, and we look forward to seeing you again in our future videos.